Which one's your favorite?
The good one.
Conquest, war, famine, and death.
Oh,
What's that for?
I like
David, what's that for?
Oh, I just
I
realized
like
what you
famine.
said.
you
Yeah.
agree? I
What was
like
that
war.
part?
Famine with the scales though.
the
That's
scales
pretty-
in his mouth.
Yeah. That one's really cool too though. I dig the war.
My favorite.
That's the king, the crown.
The
That's
trees.
nice. That's really cool, dude.
I like the trees.
Yeah, because the one with the crown was conquest or dominion.
Right.
Dominion
Yeah.
comes first, so like
Right.
some type of world government type thing, or someone, people trying to conquer, take over, and then war comes after that. Then the famine, and then death.
In his eyes.
Yeah.
And his nose. What did Dave mean?
No, I didn't mean that. No, actually, I
And we
did.
are live. Just that's up.
Oh, right.
I did actually.
Nah, baby.
I
What's
did.
up, Alice? How y'all doing?
I just wanted to say that before you said what you
You're
were
right.
Who has experienced the most famine in World War II?
The Russians,
Yeah.
probably.
I was just testing the sound.
Well,
So, Alice,
so that's kind of relevant.
before-
by default.
That's
So-
kinda
Hold on,
crazy.
okay.
I thought you meant like
Talk
about it.
nation-wise. all
Don't
the
say
time.
Guys,
that.
hold on.
out
Alex, you had something?
oh no, I was just gonna
That's
say,
why that's famine.
we should hold those up for the camera. So hello, David made these paintings for tonight, and we should show them to the camera.
No, okay.
Are you on camera?
Wait, yeah, but I mean, like,
Dude, closer. Hold them up, Dave.
Stream close
Is that close
up.
enough?
yeah,
You said that's come
Yeah.
and see in Russian.
Yeah, come and see in Russian in the four portion of the apocalypse.
hell yeah, it's a great painting.
And then one more, and that's it. This is from the Forest and Bond scene.
I love that one, man. I really do. That's cool.
I did the tape.
This movie was intense.
Cheyenne
This
did the
movie
tape.
was
I did the tape.
incredibly
Because that was one
Great
of my
tape.
favorite scenes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Because you could tell, oh, that was like real, actual bombs being like.
yeah, just, they were just blowing shit up in the woods. And I guess it said that, like it was filmed in like the late 70s, like early 80s or whatever, but like, yeah, just, you can tell they used real guns, like they definitely probably killed some animals. There was a lot of real
You think
bullets.
they killed? Oh, they did the cow. They killed that
Cows,
cow.
there was the, yeah, there was definitely.
Because how do you get a cow to act with that?
Yeah, they definitely shot that.
Cows are pretty smart. Might be
I
able
don't
to
know,
train
this,
them.
this
Yeah.
film was pretty brutal in a lot of ways, but I mean, at the same time, like it implied violence in a way that was artistic. Like it was a very beautiful and well-made film, like from start to finish, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, one of those that like is worth watching once, you know, kind of thing, and burned it in my brain afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. I think
That scene at the end with the gun and like the montage of all the clips, like the actual like war clips, like that was intense. That went on. Or I just kept hearing David Lynch in the back of my head, like, gives a fuck how long a scene is. Like, it just kept going.
Yeah, David Lynch does have scenes that go on.
Yeah. He does not like being told that they're too long.
Who?
Have you ever seen that clip of him, like, on the set of Twin Peaks, like, bitching about it? It's
David
really
Lynch?
funny. You should see it.
Yeah, David
Lynch. Right.
who is that? Who are you guys talking about?
That kid looks like
Who?
so much like
Huh?
David Lynch to me. Like, he looks like a young Lynch. The whole movie, I just kept hearing it in my head.
We just watched. What's that Nick Cage movie we watched?
Wild at
Wild
Heart.
at Heart.
When did y'all do that?
That wasn't for a book. That wasn't for a club.
Well, I know that, but like,
It
how
was
did
just
I
because
miss
I
It was-
was
that?
it was
watching
like-
David Lynch movie.
Well, like 3 weeks
Oh
ago.
my gosh, man, I can't believe I missed that. That
It was
sucks.
crazy. I
Yeah.
think that's probably my favorite David Lynch film, actually.
So far that you've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen Blue Velvet.
I mean,
so
it's
we'll need
it's
to
like
do that,
it's
but-
different to his other
I
films.
like that. It's more fun.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's
fun.
definitely more fun than the rest of it.
Sailor.
Or like, oh, or where like he was talking about his jacket or something, and it's like, oh, it's just an expression of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I forgot what it was. the line.
Individual.
And like
Yeah.
the cowboy, like that crazy cowboy dude that's like, I guess he's like a positive spirit in like the world of like all of his dreamscapes and stuff, because like his dream characters come from like different places. Yeah, it's a great.
Oh,
So I missed it.
the end of it when he like apologizes. It's like it feels so.
It was so
Oh my
long.
gosh.
It was really long.
Yeah, we should watch it again then, because I haven't seen it in a while.
I guess
That's
I
the one.
guess,
That's one of the one is I've seen the least.
It was funny though.
yes, I guess scenes can be too long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's probably true. Dude, there's a great scene in Twin Peaks that it's just like in the third season where you're just like, really,
We gotta do
really,
it.
but it's like it's weirdly compelling, and so then you're like,
We gotta do that Matrix rewatch too.
yeah, for sure, along with the Animatrix, like, and really, because I mean, it's not like we're dealing with anybody who hasn't seen that, so like it's best really to watch the Animatrix first, or at least like a couple of those episodes.
Like the
Zion history.
prequels.
Yeah, yeah, the Zion history episode for sure is like it's better to see that before you actually even see the whole thing, especially if you haven't seen that, if you've seen the movie. And then like the one episode that's like in between 1 and 2. It's like Final Fantasy, the weird, sexy fucking samurai fight where they're just like cutting each other's clothes off and shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
I forget. Does that have any?
yeah,
Plot narrative?
that's the prequel to the second movie. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's how they find out that the machines are like going down towards Thailand. That's like the mission that happens.
Well,
Anyway,
I was sending out links and stuff, but I'm Reggie now. So welcome to the 4th movie club. Talking about Come and See. Don't remember the director's name. It's a Russian propaganda film from 1985.
you probably know that.
Known for its as being like one of the most like fucked up exploitation films.
Yeah.
Whenever you look those up.
I mean, do you think that it's a propaganda film, or like, because I mean, it's not necessarily promoting the Russian government; it's just promoting their struggle against the Nazis.
I'll get into it in a second.
Yeah.
But we have Mr. Chancellor Ruster of Catch Fire.
Good evening.
Anything you
Alex.
want to plug?
Catch Fire doesn't have any shows coming up, but I do have an event. The Fantasy Vampire Ball is February 6th. It's going to be
Ooh.
right after my birthday. If you go to NashvilleFantasyBall.com, there are there's links to the ticket sales and all that kind of stuff. But it's going to be really fun. It's going to be like just an evening of strange cosplay. Apparently, I'm going to be wearing outfits. So we'll see.
Wait, cosplay?
Yeah, like vampire. It's a
You mean
vampire
vampire?
ball. It's like a fantasy vampire.
Are you
ball.
playing
like
the show?
Y'all are all welcome to
You
come.
should be a
Like, no,
vampire.
it's not a show. It's like it's just
Oh.
it's an event that Kristen's friends are putting on. So these things are like very very well done. They're incredibly nice and upscale and fancy and large. So
Well, we also have Mr. David Penn, Knife Back. He did these paintings behind us. And we have Pullover Media. Cheyenne's here too. And popping in just now, we have Josh Loney.
I'm here.
What's up,
What up?
Loney? Your timing is impeccable.
Is it? Why?
We just started.
Oh, cool. I thought I was late.
where the fuck are you at?
Before we get into it, you want to plug anything?
Just my music for The Absurd, and then also Anastasia Elliott has a show on the 7th of February at the East Room. So
615 Fest.
Cool.
yeah, we're headlining. That'll be pretty fucking awesome. Other than that, look for some really good music videos. I've been editing a music video all day.
When are
So-
those being released?
Fucking fine, that's up to the artist. I just deliver them as soon as I can.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know how they make
yeah.
films on it. I do know how they make films on a deadline, and it's they don't sleep.
Yeah.
Or they take 9 months, like the movie in question here.
Well, since you just hopped in and we just started, do you want what are your just general thoughts about Come and See? Where do you want to start?
Where's Winton? This whole movie was his idea.
Dude, we'll talk about it later.
Oh,
He's on the
man.
shit list. We'll talk about it.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what everyone else has said, but it's a pretty great movie. I'd never seen it before. I'd always wanted to see it. I'd had a friend who was I have a friend who's in the biz. It's his favorite movie, and so he'd been trying to get me to see it for like 5, 6 years. So I finally got to see it, and that was pretty cool. So thank you for the opportunity. And then, I mean, it's kind of like a fever dream. It's a very Soviet film, um, which I don't know if any of y'all or any of the listeners are huge Soviet film fans, but if you are, you kind of know there's like a specific style of editing and pacing. Um, it's like each shot is kind of like a painting, and then each shot kind of takes its time trying to draw a different emotion.
Yeah, they're all, like you said earlier, they're dreams, not good dreams, but they're dreams.
Right.
Well, all films are dreams if they're good, if they're well made. At least they should be, right? Like
I like that.
there's one of like the first ever filmmakers. Um, I can't remember if it was John Epstein, but there's one of like the early silent filmmakers was the first to make that connection. And then when the Surrealist Manifesto was written, Andre Breton specifically um, mentions the invention of the film camera of moving pictures as one of the main influences to surrealism even becoming a thing, right? Because it's kind of the first time you were really able to like you could evoke like a dreamlike quality, like you could do like Munch's like The Scream or something, but um you'd only ever just get one image, and by getting a sequence of images that you're not really in control of, it really does kind of mimic a dream just functionally. And then you experience it and you get an emotional response. So a good filmmaker should, in my opinion, always be treating it like a dream. And in this case, yeah, like you say, it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Or a wet dream.
Well, if you're a very sick person like you, perhaps
Yeah. Yeah.
it's I don't know, it's a pretty crazy what's crazy about it is it's very brutal, but it's also not like um that graphic.
Right. Yeah. Like it's not like the camera pulls away. It's just shot in such a way that you know what's happening, and it's usually happening like either directly off camera or it's like I don't know. It was surprisingly not like as quote unquote bloody as like my brain I guess kind of expected it to be, like based on I don't know whatever frequency note I had.
I think it's better to let your imagination do the work, right? Like in Jaws,
It's very
everyone
effective
was
that way.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's about the implication.
Right.
And like the best scene to kind of showcase was like he himself never saw his villagers being like dead off to the side or whatever.
Yeah, right. She dragged him away from the village, like, and from that giant pile of bodies.
But you knew what
Right.
happened.
And also,
And
it
his
does.
face conveyed the horror. Like,
I knew that like it was gonna show his face a lot, like his reaction to things. What I didn't expect is it actually does show you often what he's looking at, but it shows you in a flash. It doesn't linger.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
now you're stuck with like the mental image
Yeah.
and his, and that does linger,
Yeah.
like when it's showing his face, you know? So it's like you're already like filling in gaps because it shows you enough to like let your imagination take over.
yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful film.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
devastatingly
It hurt.
beautiful.
It
Like
hurt.
the sound,
It really hurt.
yeah.
The,
way
the
film-
makeup artist for his face.
There was basically no music at all. Like the only there were like tones that kind of indicated like things that were happening or whatever.
That's also a very common Soviet thing I've noticed is they just don't really silent films had music, but like
They haven't invented music yet.
I think that music is often, rebellious or happy, and they don't want you being either of those things in an authoritarian regime. So
Yeah.
there's like a weird resistance in a lot of Soviet movies to music, which even makes their comedies very awkward.
Interesting. Yeah, it said that the director had to fight for like 7 or 8 years against the Soviet like regime, censorship wise, to even get the film released. So he's been fighting for.
Well, it's even to get it in production. They couldn't even film it because they wanted it. And eventually, apparently, the only change they made was they changed the title from Kill Hitler to Come and See.
Wow.
His name is Ilham Klimov.
So, David made these 2 paintings behind us, and they're about the film, like they're based on the film.
Because what you just mentioned about come and see, I read into it, and like come and see is like a passage from the Bible about like this is a come and see in Russian, but about the 4 horsemen. I don't know if you can see it because of the lighting or
It's
whatever.
kind of a glare. The lighting's not great, but what we were talking about just a little bit ago is there. That was a passage in Revelation.
Show us the other fucking painting. God damn it! I was told there were 2 paintings.
Show Josh the other painting. Come on.
It's the forest scene with like the explosions. I really like that scene.
Very nice. These are for sale on his Etsy.
But yeah, come and see is it's a biblical reference. I'll see if I can find the scripture.
I'm
But
looking at it
I didn't
right now.
realize that till you
It's a
told us
powerful
earlier.
invitation from Jesus to his followers to personally experience and investigate him. Okay, this might not be right.
I think that they
Revelation,
had to choose
heavenly voice
something.
invites John to come and see what happens when the first seal or first
That's
scroll
it.
is open. Yeah, drawing
That's
him
it.
into a prophetic vision.
Because like you get that vibe, especially like in the very beginning where he's looking for the gun
Yeah,
and he's like almost inviting all these things
Yeah.
to like
and the Horseman War, like with that whole thing, you know, and it's weird because at first he thinks that they're there because he found the gun, you know, and the Russian army does come to conscript him specifically because he found the gun. I don't know if they would have taken him whether or not he had the gun, you know, like that's something that I want. I'm sure that they would have conscripted him no matter.
I mean, but
what.
even like his village would have found
It
what his,
actually seems very much like they had no interest in him.
Neef off camera where the microphone's not pointing. Has something to say. Thanks for Neef just got here. Thanks for joining us.
It really seemed to me like they very much, because from what I understand of how they did fight was, it was to the degree that they didn't have enough weaponry, and they would literally send multi guys out with one rifle expecting, you were told when the dude who has a rifle gets shot, you pick up your rifle.
Yeah, you pick up the dead man's rifle.
Yeah, so the idea that they came to get him, yeah, they needed bodies, but you can obviously see that they didn't give a, you know, they took his boots.
Sure, yeah, they didn't give a shit about
it
him,
was
but
kind
they
of a
needed the
thing
body,
where,
right?
Yeah,
Like,
like probably looking at
they would have taken him no matter what.
him being probably quote unquote man of the house.
Mhm.
They probably by their own laws could not take his gun from him.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I mean? So you got a lot of weird stuff that goes on. It's like
Okay.
laws of war that we're like, if this is war, and it's like, well, but this is a whole different culture.
Yeah,
You know, so they might have had to take him in order to have the gun, figuring he'll get off and we'll have his gun and, you know, so
interesting.
we can definitely take his boots.
Okay, yeah, that whole situation too. Oh my
But
god, the scene in the
yeah.
mud, that was brutal, like.
Oh, I love that scene.
Yeah.
That is such a good scene.
In the mud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that only just foreshadows like so much more of like the shit that they're gonna go through.
What do you think that was? What do you think that meant?
Yeah, like I think it meant that it was literally foreshadowing like it's just gonna get harder.
And it was pointless.
Like
because
you're
he
gonna
was-
get out,
He was
but
looking
it's
for his
just gonna
family at
get,
that point.
like,
She knew they
harder.
were dead.
Hmm.
Like she.
What
let-
are we talking about? The mud? Sorry, I had to.
Yeah.
Like she let him go in that bog, even though she knew that his family was dead.
and then gets mad at him for like
Yeah.
getting in there.
even
well,
though she-
Yeah. Why did she wait till they got out to say that?
I mean they're both
I would have been
like,
pissed too.
I
Yeah,
mean they're both
shell shocked,
like,
and traumatized.
very
yeah.
traumatized children, so like
Yeah.
I mean when you're like
Okay,
going through
fair
that,
enough.
yeah, like
Maybe
you're
not
really-
in her right
and also
mind.
she literally she was the only one who saw all those bodies.
Yeah, he saw the village.
She probably wanted to get as far away as possible too. I
Yeah,
guess.
and then she
did
like
not know
lost
to
her
go in
shit
either.
on
Yeah.
him, which I get.
And then talking about implications.
Because
not
he kept being
showing-
like they're in here somewhere, and she's like, God damn it, I'm just gonna tell them. Like, you know, cause he kept, like, just kept on. And so then she like lost her shit and I get that.
And then talking about implications and not showing this, she was clearly raped, but they didn't like,
Yeah, they just show you the aftermath.
No, I feel
of
like
that.
that's what makes it
Yeah,
more
that
like
was brutal, too.
impactful.
Sure,
Um,
sure, because you have to look and realize like what's happened. She's got the
Also,
blood on her legs.
I'd like to mention, since we skipped to that, they had this weird, they had throughout the film, they had these weird like shots where they're both in frame. I think it's called a split dioptical lens, where they like,
With diopter.
yeah, diopter, that's what it's called. Where both the characters were like in the frame,
Mhm.
even though they're
In
like away
focus,
from
like,
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that.
Yeah.
I feel like that was really powerful.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even remember like a sequence of events necessarily. It's like this just traumatic thing where it's like that, like I'll get flashes of a scene and be like, oh yeah, and then that thing happened too, but I don't even know the order that it happened necessarily.
like a dream.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
The
I
weird,
think it's-
the weird Nazi lady, like that was a strange thing. Like the real pretty Nazi lady.
Yeah,
like,
no, I
you know,
feel like it really emphasized like how like they acted like they were just sent there to do like a small task. Like this was like their normal.
the Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what that signified. I
Yeah.
feel like it just signified this is like,
The scene where like the officer walked into the Russian house and like they all
yeah, they
just, like,
have no
put the
like,
food in front of him. And all
there's
that.
no
It was-
humanity. Like it's just like, oh yeah, like the dude even says, I think he's like, yeah, we were just sent here to like, I don't remember what he said.
I mean, that's
But
all.
along the lines of like,
They-
we were
they-
just sent
they
here
show one
to
of
do
the,
a job.
They show one of the Germans crying
No, the
after
soldiers.
they, yeah, one of the soldiers after they do it. So what they're showing is that it is very much
Yeah.
unassigned thing. And I was making a comment, I'm like, you know, when you're trained militarily on amphetamines
Right.
and told you're superior,
Right.
most of them dudes is gonna get in their brain, which is why it's nothing to them. But there's gonna be a couple of dudes that, you know, they're not really wanting to do this,
Right.
but they really ain't, you know, it's like
Was
they don't got enough in them to go against it,
Right.
you know, so,
Right.
but I think it's interesting that I keep hearing the discussion of the cinematography.
Yeah.
And you made a point about how it almost is hard to follow the timeline. I think that's one of the things that speaks a lot of volumes about how well it was shot. Because if it wasn't shot so well, then it would be a jumbled up story that'd be like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is this? You know,
Yeah.
so it's like a perfect,
Yeah.
the perfect way to like be very cinematographically heavy and
Yeah.
artsy, if you will.
Yeah.
But still get the story across. Because that was one of the key things about it, is it really keeps you engaged. Even though the dialogue is real.
Well,
thin
and yeah, we're not speak the language. Like, I mean, you
Yeah.
know, there's
Someone said there's no exposition.
It's a really good point, dude.
Okay.
No, and there isn't. Yeah, it's not like they ever explain anything that's going on. It's not like any of the characters say, and this is what's happening. They, you know, it's
Yeah.
You just have to know the history.
Yeah.
It's like
It's in-
such a big like cultural thing. Now.
Yeah.
It's very
That's a really good point. I didn't
And
think
I
Well, if
remember
you're taking the
I was like-
perspective of the child,
right.
you wouldn't know what's going on.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of the shots are like evolutionized through their faces.
And none of them were professional actors. Like that's insane to think about.
Like a majority, oh, sorry.
And when the kid, the main character, and that other guy, basically defected and went like on their own, and they tried to steal that cow. I remember I was like, oh shit, they're stealing from other Russians, and Josh was like, yeah, do you know anything about Russia?
Yeah, that's the people's cow.
That's the people's cow.
Or the people's boot. He
Yeah.
took his boots.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like good point. Of course they did.
That's great.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, you know, pretty much part of why Russia will never be conquered is because they just don't give a fuck, and like
Yeah.
they'll burn
Yeah.
down their own city just to spite you, which they've done
Just
with
to
with Napoleon, right? Like,
make the food product so that you can't like keep your shit supplied and feed yourself on your
That's
way
some
to
shit.
the next fucking town that's 2,000
That's some
miles
shit.
away. Yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, like, you know,
Invading Russia in the wintertime, classic wartime mistake.
yeah, it's like,
They just go further north and wait you out. You can't live up there.
hard men make weak boners make hard men, something like that, you know?
Dicks like to fuck pussies, but they also like to fuck assholes.
Yeah, like, is, I guess what I'm saying is that's a different time also,
Yeah,
where like,
yeah,
it generated a bunch of like scary motherfuckers.
yeah,
And it's like, we're all so fucking soft now, but it's also creating a bunch of, like, things are good, but it's also like made a bunch of cowards that aren't doing anything.
Yeah.
It's like, we used to like flip a fucking British ship over for taxing us on tea.
Yeah.
right.
And now it's like our entire income goes to taxes and we're all just like, oh, there's nothing we can do about it.
You can't.
well, to be fair, there isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be right.
Like that.
On the-
That's the trade-off. The
I'm still
trade-off
trying to
of
figure out if I agree.
freedom is danger, right? So like, if you were over in, you know, if it was 1760 something, and you're in America, like, you're really not used to the crown telling you what to do because there's no way for them to communicate.
Right.
And that's great. It means you can do what you want, but that also means, you know, you might die at like any time.
Yeah.
And
Russian people like the Russian.
the price we pay for safety is basically exactly that. It's just, you know, you guys get the pleasure of watching me feed the dogs, by the way. You have no real, like, I think that you mentioning that saying is wise because, you know, the weak men make hard times thing is coming right now. And I mean, it happened. That's how you get into world wars, right? Is you have people who profit from war but don't understand its actual cost, you know?
Yeah.
And they've been really trying to make another one happen for exactly the same reason that they wanted the others to happen.
I think that's an important thing to remember because so much of what we hear about war is in the middle and end of it, and not like what led up to this, and like how did it get this bad to begin with. But a lot of times it's like, oh, it's so terrible. It's like it was terrible everywhere, and it was terrible before the war started. That's why the war started.
Yeah.
Like,
And I mean, in Russia, like, again, the people like rose up for a reason, you know, like the Russian royalty prior to like whatever 1917 was just didn't give a shit about their people, like as long as they stayed fed.
Last thing, especially in Europe at that time, where World War II wasn't coming off the back of like some massive era of prosperity.
Right.
Like, no, things were real.
Kind of the depression beforehand.
Yeah, like there was a
War
First
turned
World War
America.
not that long before it.
Right.
That really,
Right. That was supposed to be the war to end all wars, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You know? And again,
That was World War One, yeah.
you know, and that's where, you know, like stories like Tolkien come out of that, you know, like that's why when he writes about war in Lord of the Rings, like it's so realistic because I mean he's writing from an actual like trenches war veteran perspective.
Yeah.
And you know, then you get into two and you've got these two fronts. And I mean, again, like the Russian front, something that like in America we didn't like, you're not really, at least in my era growing up in school, like we weren't taught a lot about like what they dealt with and what the Red Army did, how their tactics worked on that Eastern Front, how brutal they were, and how brutal their army was, and service in their army was, and how much of a meat grinder it was, and all that. And also the fact that all those like, you know, states that are along that like Eastern Bloc line, like are kind of in that weird no man's land between Russia and Europe, where it's like, you know, they've lived in that territory for so long, and they're essentially just peasant population, where they've got these two armies just bashing against each other. Right.
And they're the battlefield.
Yeah. Like it was an excellent portrayal of that, you know, especially for the time. Like imagine like being an artist, being that filmmaker, trying to get that made at that time. Like that must have been insane in Russia.
We all also have to keep in mind that the understanding of Russia that we have now, or is being taught now, is different from when I was a kid.
Josh, can you hear what he's saying?
During the Cold War.
I can't really hear Neef right now, no.
I didn't
They were
think
still
so.
the USSR.
I was gonna tell him there's an
So
open
what I was
seat
saying
on
is-
that couch.
We have to think that, we have to remember that the way we're in these days, especially, people that weren't raised in the eighties, people don't view Russia the same way that we were taught to view Russia
Yeah.
because it was the USSR.
Yeah, the commies, yeah.
And it was, Russia was the entirety of everything to us. We were taught Russia and USSR was the same thing. It was like the capital of the USSR was Russia, as far as we understood. And it wasn't until it actually collapsed that people really started being taught the vastness and the differences and everything and all the geopolitical stuff going on, you know, so it's a whole different mind frame, especially watching that now with that understanding and thinking that that was done right in the Cold War.
Yeah, right in
You
the
know?
middle of that shit. That's crazy. Yes, it was a very, very.
Well, this is also the key to remember is that this is Belarus or Bielorussia,
Right.
and they're like real far away from the cultural centers in Kiev and Moscow and St. Petersburg and whatnot. So like they are, all these people are farmers, and they don't really have any connection to the political side of things, and they don't really even care. Like, you know, one of the tragedies of what happened in Ukraine and Belarus after the Soviets took over is that they stole everyone, all, you know, a bunch of farmers' land, right? And starved everybody. And those people didn't really understand, and they had no education. They didn't know how to like read or write. So, by the way, a big part of why the Russian or Soviet film style is what it is you can read their papers on it. It was all designed to like elicit an emotional response and basically brainwash these peasants into believing that they were on their side, right?
Right.
But if you think about it from the character's perspective, like none of those people who died in that movie gave a shit about being a communist. All of a sudden, some people just showed up. They were living in the little house on the prairie, essentially, and then Nazis showed up and burned them alive.
Positive light, like it's not like this film portrayed the Russian army in any kind of positive light
That's
at
a
all.
great point.
You know,
Yeah.
like, which is probably part of the reason that he had to fight it so hard as far as their censorship goes. 'Cause
Like
it
they did a
seems-
bunch of awful shit.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that.
and they were
Yeah.
really portrayed as pretty incompetent as far as all
The
that
Germans
goes.
were worse. I will say that.
Yeah.
It's like even in the context of the film, like the Germans were worse.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they were portrayed as absolute.
And the
monsters.
Russians come off as desperate, but desperate people do desperate things. And it was like,
But I did love, like Neat brought up, it did show the one guy, like the one soldier crying, and then it showed like those collaborators, those people that were in the village, that they were like, they're the reason that they came here, but they remember the group that wanted to kill like the other group of people or whatever. Like that whole thing was, you know, it was just, they were turning, you know, brother on brother kind of a situation. Like those people knew each other, you know.
yeah.
I mean, like.
Well, that reminds me of the scene with the barn where
Oh my God.
they
600,
lock everyone
over
inside
600
the
people.
barn, and
Would you leave your kid in the barn, Alex?
that's what I'm getting at is there. So
And it was
they
the
locked
SS.
the Germans lock up a bunch of Russian civilians inside a barn and then start throwing torches.
Belarusian.
Same thing.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm being a pedant.
It's the same thing. Pretending they're different's not helpful. They're all the same. Belarus, Russian, whatever.
It
But
kind of makes a difference in the context where like they are
Oh,
just
I-
farmers that have nothing to do with.
Yeah.
I was being xenophobic. I didn't actually mean that. It was a joke.
Facetious.
Okay, but
Uh,
to the Germans, we're attacking them. It's all the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
I didn't think I had to say this, but I don't actually think that.
I was being facetious.
Well, you know, they're all Slavs, and Slavs get their name because Germanic people took them as slaves,
They're all
Yeah.
fucking Slavs. That's God's
right? Like,
The
can you
George
imagine
SS,
having
like,
your
Yeah.
cultural identity be so rooted in slavery and oppression and misery and desperation that your name for yourselves is we're all slaves. Like we all know that we're slaves.
We was slaves.
When
And
I,
so like even by the dint of their own you know, ethnographic, what would the word be, demonym, they're kind of aware of the fact that like these Germans suck and are dangerous, but they're also like kind of used to being subjugated. So when they get put into the barn, it's kind of weird how many people like didn't take a chance.
And just bolt or like go for it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. But you're
I
right.
don't
Like
know.
that's they're so demoralized. They're so like that's their just identity is just to go and to be kicked.
I had
You're
like
right,
a
man.
cheap,
Because there were 600. There were over 600 of them.
I
Like
mean, it makes
they could have
sense.
just rushed and fought. You know what I mean? Like we're all sitting there thinking that, but like yeah, it's that crazy
I mean, but
herd
they have
mentality.
guns.
And yeah, but again,
They're
like
sheep.
Josh's point, like their role in that culture was to be peasants.
I mean,
So
if you're gonna
that's
die,
their
yeah, they
identity.
have guns, but if you're gonna die anyway.
No, I don't disagree.
Yeah,
with
but
that.
it makes-
I'm agree, I'm
Yeah,
adding to what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah, exactly.
But if you're beat down so much and you're abused so much, it makes their reactions make
Sure, and
No,
that's
I
what
feel
Josh
you.
is saying too.
Also,
their-
like
their
they were
identity is
dragging
I'm
certain
a slave.
people out and like doing heinous
Terrible
things to
too,
them.
yeah, and
So
then
like
offering
if
them
I
the
like,
crucifix.
I mean, I guess I don't know,
you could justify
You-
not going out.
cause
there.
like what happens when I go out there?
Well,
I'd get the fuck out there.
But I'd
I'd do
rather
exactly
not
what the
burn.
lady did. I'd put the kid out the window and I'd go with, and if they throw the kid back in, it's like, sorry kid, this is gonna happen anyway, but I don't need to die.
that
Oh no, they didn't they.
The old-
That
No,
was-
they forced her to watch because they're sadistic meth heads.
Yeah, and then just the whole thing about taking the photo of the kid, and yeah, and I mean, obviously, like they said, that was the SS that burned the barn and like offered that choice, and that the insanity of the psychology of that choice goes back to like what their methods were, like the
Meth, ids.
yeah, well, and the psychology behind it, man. I mean, like
It's just like them,
it's insane.
it's just like them having the whole ideology that, you know, the term slave came from, where they came from. It's the same with the Germans being driven to this idea that they're superior.
Right.
So when they bebop into a place that they know the people don't think highly of themselves,
Right.
they're obviously going to act that way in general.
Yeah.
And it's not even so much the decision of, are we gonna leave the kids or do that? It's nobody just decides we outnumber them.
Right. That's what I'm
Let's
saying.
just bum rush them.
Right.
And you don't see that a lot being done in war situations like that. But powers that be know that about their potential enemies and what they're doing. So they have methods. And like you're saying, the Germans are very psychological about what they do.
Right, right. Like the terror, the sheer terror that they like, you know, exude, and having those SS officers there in those Hugo Boss uniforms, man. Like it's mind blowing some of the stuff that the ties that bind that, and I mean, I don't know, like nobody.
I think there's also a little bit of like in the beginning of the movie when he's being conscripted, the way his mom is reacting to it.
She's terrified.
There's sort of a like,
Yeah.
like this horrible thing that's happening to these people. It's not like this is the first horrible thing that's happened to them.
Right.
Well, because
They might have already had
World
to
War
give
One.
up and they might have already had to give up children to the Russian army.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. You
Right,
can tell
like-
that she knew that this was
because it's never stated, but like, I mean, it's pretty obvious that her husband probably died in World War One or
yeah,
something.
and she had
No, her husband was probably dead in World War II. He was sent away.
Or
Yeah,
like,
he'd already been conscripted, like you said.
Like-
She'd already been through so
like-
much before that.
Like it's not like
thing
these
that we've
people
seen.
are like in there with like a fresh, like ready to go.
Yeah,
like they're
absolutely.
already morally beaten down.
Right, right. And the contrast of that compared to like the American like populace at the time, which was
Yeah.
this very like concentrated.
We're so far away from it.
propagandized war
Yeah.
effort in a different way, like propaganda. Yeah,
Well, also, again, this country was conquered. Like the Nazis are an occupying force. Part of why they're burning all these people
Right.
isn't just because of their um, sick ideas on their racial inferiority. It's really because strategically it's a waste of resources, especially when you're fighting a two-front war,
Right.
to have a bunch of units just making sure that there's no trouble when you
Right.
could just kill everybody, and then now you don't have to police the town.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that's totally true.
So it's really like, the thing that was so horrifying to people, if you read about, like you hear like the term, the banality of evil
Yeah.
from the lady, I can't remember her name, who was reporting on the Nuremberg trials.
Yeah.
She came up with that term because like what they found was that the people who did the Holocaust were like mostly a bunch of pencil pushers. They weren't like these radical ideologues. They were just like the same exact sort of person who would be a health inspector here, right? Or would be like, "Oh, I'm a COVID compliance officer." Like those sorts of people are the people who did the Holocaust, because they just mechanized and made death into a factory, into something
Yeah.
very efficient.
Yeah, to build on what you're saying, Josh, there's a lot of people focus on the Jews or whatever, but they also kill. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. They
A lot
also,
of Jews focus on the Jews.
but like they didn't just kill Jews; they killed a lot of people. Like a big point of the Germans was they just wanted land so they can expand more German people.
Well, yeah, that's the Lebensraum.
Yeah, they didn't care who was on that land. As long as they weren't German, we can eliminate them and we can have more land for Germans.
Hey, it worked out for us with the Native Americans.
Yeah.
Can't blame them for trying.
Yeah.
But I mean,
like-
also this is crazy coming from a Jewish person, but to defend the Germans, quote unquote, I wouldn't really defend them, but like you can kind of understand, paired with meth, how they could think that they were so superior, especially to the Russians, when, in about 100 years, they had like gone from a very fractured, like basically still medieval polity, right? Like they were like hundreds of years behind in terms of, colonization and just geopolitical might, right? They still were mostly just warring duchies. And within 100 years, they became equal to the British and the French and easily surpassed the Spanish in terms of their like, hegemonic importance. So you can kind of understand why they would think like, well, we must be better than everyone if we can do what took them like 1,000 years in 100.
Yeah. Nationalist.
I'd say probably,
Mythos.
probably at
Say what
the-
you will, at least it's.
I'd say probably especially at the start of the war, given how well it went for them in the beginning, that they would
Oh, the Nazis? Yeah,
so
so
that would reinforce. They're like, wow, look at how well we're doing. We must be the best.
just fucking twacked out, rolling through Poland like it wasn't anything in France. Just it's so insane.
I've heard people talk about that if there was a point that England was offered
Like an armistice.
basically, yeah, a ceasefire, and they say if that was taken,
Moving
that
over.
it would have stopped, and Germany would be as big as it was. It would be in the Poland
Yeah.
and France and everything, and that would be
Well, that's
Germany
what
was.
Chamberlain was trying to do. The guy who was the prime minister at the time that Churchill was opposed to he was trying to basically.
And that's literally how the entire fucking globe was shaped. That just didn't work out for them.
Yeah.
And so we have that in history where that was one of the first times that was able to people really see that kind of going on.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and the Bank of England originally financed Hitler in the 30s because they wanted him to control what was left of Germany. But then, of course, he was a raving lunatic. That didn't work out very well for them.
Meth is a hell of a drug.
Man, it's a hell of a drug.
I just interviewed a band.
I think it worked out pretty well for them, actually.
Yeah, surprisingly, I think that's kind of why it's so well known. Of like,
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people died, but like the people who would have been financing him made a lot of fucking money. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they came out like gangbusters either way. What were you saying about the band?
Oh, I interviewed a band yesterday. They have a song coming out comparing ice raids to 1930s Germany.
And the Crystal Knock stuff, like it's getting pretty weird, dude. We had a good moment at the show. We had a good talk to the man moment at the show the other night at the 5 Spot.
well, we definitely haven't had a crystal knock sort of
No,
thing.
no, I'm just saying, like, you know, but like you said, the ice raids, it's not the same thing.
It's, I mean, but there is a just Gestapo element to it because, you know, I mean, you're asking people for their papers.
It feels very Gestapo-ish. Like, I mean, and I'm not a lefty or a righty, but it feels pretty stupid, pretty secret policing. I don't know.
Maybe bring it a little bit back to the movie.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, we're talking about a movie?
What?
What
I mean,
movie? What movie are we talking about?
What movie?
Incredibly
Oh,
jarring,
that's somebody's.
traumatic film. That montage at the end was pretty brutal. Like, just kept going, and it used all that real footage, and that was definitely all like survivor footage.
Mm.
The entire story was a true story. It was told like, and apparently it's based on a book and like another collection of like.
Based on a memoir by the writer.
Right.
Is this like a Heart of Darkness, Apocalypse Now situation? Like it's based on a different setting, or
No.
No.
Is
It was that guy's life.
Yeah. This
Oh,
is
shit.
literally based on a true
like
story.
autobiographical?
Yes.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
We
Absolutely.
should do that for book club.
For which
The book that this is based on.
Oh,
That'd be cool.
And I mean, yeah, all those people. I mean, that's a thing that happened. Like insane
Yeah.
tragedies that happen.
I was surprised how I knew it was gonna be fucked up. I didn't know it was just gonna be like a masterpiece. Like
Very historically meaningful. Like,
yeah, just
The
like
slow burn is, I think, comes as a surprise to people.
yeah, like it was actually just like a super competent and just like beautiful piece of cinema.
I mean, because it was a Winston recommendation, so it could have been just chalk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
right.
expected it to be bad because Winton recommended it. It was
Yeah.
actually really good.
I knew it'd be weird. Not gonna lie.
I knew it'd be good because, again, it'd been recommended to me before. So I'm glad that we did it, but it's definitely, I don't know, I would say it was kind of exactly what I expected, but it exceeded my expectations in how well it was done. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
That I think I totally agree with you. It's what I thought it would be, but I didn't know it'd be that good.
Especially in like their limitations, because clearly a lot of the scenes were like
Right.
actually physically done.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There was real explosions again, real bullets.
When you see,
Josh's perspective is really important. I don't know, at least for me, because I'm like a total film layman. But he knows a lot about this. He knows directors. He knows things
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean?
It is
So,
really valuable having people like Josh and Cheyenne on here that
Yeah.
like just know a ton about film. And yeah,
the
but
names
like
of
there's
lenses and things.
yeah, and like
I tried.
I love the way
Got it.
movies from that time look. Like
Yeah.
just the way the film looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
It's-
real film.
I've never seen a movie. I feel like that movie mostly consists of like shots on their faces, and I've never seen a movie quite capture that like that.
you should watch The Passion of Joan of Arc.
Is that made before the movie or after?
Well before.
Really?
I think we've seen it. Oh yeah.
Joan of Arc.
The Passion of Joan of Arc.
Is that a sequel to Mel Gibson's
No,
Passion?
it's a prequel.
It's
That sounds cool.
it's a silent film that is
Okay.
it's very, I think, influential on this movie.
Okay,
Okay.
good to know.
Cool.
Yeah, and you could see there. I felt like to me there were some scenes and shots that seemed like they were influential on things that I've seen after this, like the Nazi officer scene in the house seemed like the Inglourious Basterds scene, like the opening scene for Inglourious Basterds. It was just like one shot. There was no dialogue, but it's like the Nazi officer came in this movie,
I love
sat
that
down, and
movie.
the family came out and brought all the stuff to the table, and he was just sitting there eating like a full meal. And they obviously brought him like everything good and nice that they had. Like,
Yeah.
and it seemed absurdist. He had all of his medals and his, you know, like that juxtaposition. Like when you see those things on film again, these like shots that are very dream quality, you know, kind of things. So I don't know, there were a couple of things that I remember seeing at the time that I thought were references to stuff that I had seen in other films later on. It's like-
I think the best, and I have to say this because I have to sign off in a sec, but I think the best thing that can be said about this movie is honestly that like there isn't that much to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there isn't much to really debate about. Um, there, most of the discussion continually goes to the subject matter, like the content of it, and the brutality of like how it was made. They starved the actor, stuff like that. But there isn't really like very much to say about like, I didn't love that shot, or like, do you
Right.
think that scene could have been better, or what do you think that scene meant? Like, what it all means. It all means that like war is hell, and you don't want to live through this. You know what I mean? Like, they're not really trying to say anything other than that. I think there's a little bit of a comment about kind of, I think the original title, Kill Hitler, says a lot because I think to some degree the movie was a comment on the sort of rah. There's a Soviet movie called The Battle of Berlin or The Fall of Berlin. That's like there's like a famous actor who was famous for portraying Stalin, and like they had all these propaganda movies where like there's a hero and they kill the Nazis, and so I think there is like kind of an attempt to be sort of an anti-war war movie. Like, I mean, obviously most war movies are quote unquote anti-war, but this is like anti-war movie. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah,
anti,
yeah,
yeah,
I do
yeah.
see
well,
what you're saying, yes.
It's not triumphant ever.
Right.
It's just constant.
Not
It's a
hopeful.
constant slog,
Right.
and the way it does it, it really gives you, I think, probably the best first person perspective as someone who's just going to kind of jump into what it might have been like to have been in a war. I feel like this movie gave me a better understanding of it than any movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To build on what you're saying, Josh, something I thought about after watching the movie is like, I thought about like, what would a sequel to this movie be like? And it would be like Russia invading Germany. That would be like the next stage. And it would be like them doing the same thing the Germans did, but they feel like justified in what they're doing.
Right.
Because like you said, the original title was Kill Hitler. In the very end, when they like execute all those Germans and like backstabbers or whatever, there's like this very like almost justified anger and vengeance in what they're doing, and like a sequel could show that.
Yeah.
Of like, because that does happen next. Russia
Right.
storms through Germany and does the same thing to them, but they're like justified.
Oh.
Justified.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
mean,
say that.
They definitely don't do the same thing.
They feel
And that-
justified.
They feel justified in what they're doing.
Yeah.
They do this, wait,
It's a
sorry, can you
revenge thing.
continue what you're gonna say?
That's a good point.
My grandpa, who fought in World War II, the only thing he ever told my dad about it, I never met him. The only thing he ever told my dad, he wouldn't talk about it, was apparently my dad, when he was like a kid, asked him, he's like, Daddy, did you like want to kill those people or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, did you kill people? Did you want to? And he was like, well, no one wants to kill anybody, but you see, a buddy that you were on the offensive line and your high school football team get his head blown off, and it becomes pretty easy to start fucking killing people.
Yeah.
Like,
My dad.
and that's what they used to do until World War II was the last war they did it. They used to have all platoons were localized, right? Like, so you would go to war in America, you would
Right.
go to war with people from your hometown.
Right.
And the reason they stopped doing it is because entire hometowns were getting
Yeah.
wiped out.
Oh,
And
shit.
All the dead.
like,
Bound to be dead.
so if like, imagine like, look at everyone in the room with you, and then imagine some fucking kraut bastard blows Lazy's head off, blows Chance's balls off, and then one bullet goes, through David. It's gonna get a lot easier for you, Alex, like to fucking start murdering people.
oh, yeah, yeah. after
All of a
it's
sudden-
well, yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
it would be much easier, that's right.
Well,
Yeah.
and one of the things that my dad's dad told us, and is in his war journals too, because he was a bomber pilot that got shot down over Poland and was in a like a POW camp next to a labor camp. And the Russians were the first army that got to that camp and liberated it. So of course he's an American officer, he's a POW, he gets sent back. But the Russians took all of the Jews and the laborers that were in that camp and they took them back to Russia. Of course, they started coming to the Russian side of the war like as slaves. So, I mean, there was no good outcome for those folk in that side. That Eastern Front really said.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it really does capture the horror of war. I really like what Josh said earlier about like every war movie is an anti-war movie, but this is an anti-war movie.
Yeah.
And that's like, yeah, it's the antithesis of what Hollywood does with, or I guess even the Soviet Union does with war movies.
Most war movies are very centered around a military, a soldier,
Right.
a specific thing. And even if it's not, it's specifically centered around a civilian. This really touches on the blend of that, where it's like, you know, these weren't soldiers, but they were pulled into a war.
Yeah.
And had to become soldiers against dudes that were actually trained as soldiers. And yeah, and especially it being a kid, it's not such a young kid that he doesn't completely understand. Right. He's old enough, but they had to make him just old enough to be able to be pulled in a war, you know. And I mean, they really touched on it's like you're saying, there's nothing. If you studied the least bit of history, you can follow this film.
Yeah.
You know, even if they pull the dialogue completely out,
Right.
you can kind of, you know, see what's happening.
There's very little exposition. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, keep in mind too, like this is his coming of age, so there's a little bit of a comment on, you know, maybe why Russians are the way they are, right? Like we'll watch, you know, Chance mentioned like the way that like Tolkien was shaped by World War I, and we'll watch like these old movies and we'll be like, damn, Humphrey Bogart's slapping the shit out of that lady. But like, you know, guys who were that age at that time had just seen the craziest shit anyone had ever seen in history.
Right.
So to them, you know, slapping Betty Grable wasn't like that big of a deal. And like, oh really? Have you seen your friend's face get melted off? Didn't think so. And
So inspiring.
I think that like, yeah, I think that there's this like, you know, he's young. He is young enough to not understand though. Like he's very excited, you know, and that's to me the title "Come and See" more than there's like the interesting biblical allusion, but to me it's more just like saying like, oh, you want glory, you want to like see war, you want to see the triumph that's in all the war movies, you know, because even the war movies that are kind of realistic and more brutal, like I don't know, Saving Private Ryan, maybe. There's still a little bit of like a rah, like, God damn it, we did the mission. We fucking did it. Every mission in this movie fails. The mission is survive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And ironically, his zeal for war is the reason he survived. Because if he had stayed in town, they would have killed him.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Oh,
But-
interesting. That's
I didn't
interesting.
think about that. Yeah.
But he
I didn't think
learns.
about that either. He would have died if he didn't
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would
That's
totally
awful.
have been gone. And
He probably, in retrospect, would have preferred to have done that, but it doesn't matter because that's not what happened.
Right.
well, I mean, to me, it's kind of like if you're in occupied territory, they didn't have mass media to really know what the Nazis were doing, to be
Yeah,
fair.
that's true.
But
That's
like
true. They didn't really understand.
everybody in that country is basically in a locked barn and they're just waiting to be burnt down. And it's really just a matter of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
And so like, you know, it actually worked out pretty good for him. And then when you think about this happened in 600 villages, it's like these are the people who survived.
Right.
There's like so many people did not survive, like that you like and the people who did survive were fucked up. You know, you wonder why Russians are so good at keeping their mouths shut. It's because they don't want to tell you what they fucking saw in the first place. You know?
really good point, man.
Anyway, with that, I gotta sign off.
Bye.
Thanks for joining,
coming.
homie.
Love you guys. I'll see you next month.
Miss you, man. See ya.
What movie are we doing next month?
What movie are we doing next month?
Connor's
We're
movie.
doing Connor's movie.
No, we're not.
We're not
Well,
doing
well,
that?
fine, we can do Connor's movie.
Oh, no, did we decide we were?
Well,
well,
okay,
we
here's the
decided
thing.
that.
We're doing Connor's book next month. We're doing Brave New World,
Oh,
which
that's
Connor
right.
recommended.
That's
And I'm like, are we
I
gonna
wanted
do,
to get that book.
are we gonna do Connor's book and Connor's movie in February?
Let's just- I mean,
Yes.
might as well.
What's his
All right,
movie?
fuck it, let's do it.
Why not?
What's the movie?
My son, what have you done?
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so-
Make him actually show up on the podcast, though.
Join us next month for that, and join us next month for Brave New World. Also.
What a great man. I love that movie so much.
Oh, God. I've
No
never
one gives
seen
a
it.
fuck about Brave New World. Everyone wants to watch this shitty movie.
Love you, Loney. I'll holler at you, mate.
Adios.
See ya, honey.
Another thing I think that I think that is like the first scene that actually shows like a lot more, I wouldn't say brighter,
Which
but
scene?
different colors on the barn
Oh, yeah.
burning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The whole film's kind of muted.
yeah. It's very green and dark, very dark green, dark blues. Which
Yeah,
is-
okay.
Showcases like hopelessness, obviously, but you do get those faint like semblances of like orange when the kids are like playing in the forest. Like,
Yeah.
symbolize like they have still that like hopeful kind of naive faith inside of them.
Yeah.
But really, it's just that part, that scene of where the girl's like dancing and like the kid is laughing. It's just them, I feel like, coping with their trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a whole disassociation
The way that
scene.
we see his reaction to things and not too much of what's actually happening is like, I think a kind of like a larger example of that, where it's not quite the same thing, but the same kind of thematics, is where we see his mom and particularly the two younger sisters
Mm,
who are happy and smiley, and we don't see what happened to them,
yeah.
but that's so effective
Yeah. I did.
because you know
what happened.
I forgot
you know what
about that.
happened to them,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like fear is always bigger than reality, right? So like filling in the gaps, like not showing you, letting your mind work against you,
Show them.
and developing how traumatic that is, right? So it's like the movie does that throughout, but I think one of the greatest examples of that is showing the little sisters, the two little sisters who are so innocent.
Playing, yeah.
And it's like that the fact that you don't see them again is like, if they had shown you, that would have been really tragic.
Right.
But whatever you're thinking is more tragic than what they could have.
Yeah, what you
possibly shown
see, because that's shown throughout the whole movie. There's so many parts of the movie where they just show you something, but they never outright say it.
Yeah.
Like, to me, a good example of that is I'm a very big like gun nut, like when it comes to like specific guns and stuff. And like you see that throughout the movie. The gun he finds when he's like looking for a gun is like a German gun. And a lot of the Russian soldiers have German guns,
Mm.
which showcases kind of like how desperate they are. They're literally like using their enemies' guns and just
Right.
like the Germans never do that. All the Germans only have German guns. However, there's one point where that's different. When they burn like that one village at the very end, I noticed that some of the German people, quote unquote, had Russian guns. Specifically, I don't know if you guys noticed, there were like some guns that had like a round drum like magazine, like a dinner plate magazine. Those are Russian.
Okay.
And then later on, it's revealed that they had some like Russians that were backstabbers.
Right. They were collaborators.
They were collaborators.
Yeah.
So that was showcased beforehand because they
Oh,
had
I see what
Russian
you're saying.
guns.
I see what you're saying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is really interesting.
But they never state that out loud.
Right. Again, like just the storytelling, like that they do just through the framing of it.
Yeah,
That's
and
really
you'd only
cool.
know that.
And you would only know that if you knew about the
That's
guns.
pretty cool, man. Yeah, I didn't notice that either. I gotta get out of here. I love you guys.
Love you too, man.
Yeah, this has been really good. This was an excellent film to watch. Like, I'm glad that we're exposing like ourselves to things that we wouldn't
Yeah.
normally see. So Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get after it next time too. I'll be here for book club.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Love you, Alice.
See you, homie. What's the name of that?
Peace.
Oh, you're not
It
playing
is,
a
it
show,
is the
you're just-
Vampire Ball. No, it's Fantasy Vampire Ball. Like if you go
That's
to
what's up.
fantasynashville.com, it's all the information's there. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, you guys want to come, let me know because it's gonna be good.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
See you, man. Yeah, it does people a lot of good to watch stuff like that, I think.
It really puts perspective on things. It made me feel a lot better about my life.
There's that. It could be worse.
Do you guys have any like last notes about the movie or?
Oh, David's ready to leave.
And
Not necessarily.
Get it over with.
All right, bye guys.
All right, bye.
I just disappeared.
It's just we all have work. We
We're
all
doing,
have work
we're gonna
tomorrow.
go for 5 more hours. You said that.
No, yeah, my favorite stuff, literally just the face shots, all the face shots,
And the face.
and how they left him behind. Because the main general did feel bad for him. If you remember the face shot on the general, and he like kind of grimaced a little bit, I took that as him having empathy for the little boy.
When they left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because you mentioned they wanted his gun, but that doesn't mean they necessarily wanted to like waste his life.
I think there was empathy there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one thing we haven't talked about is right after that, there's a bunch of bombs go off and he goes deaf. And the
Yeah.
sound design changes, which is really interesting. Like the movie sounds like it's muffled through a filter, like it's
Yeah.
muted out. It's like so that demonstrated that he can't hear well after the explosion.
Yeah,
And-
that's good.
Yeah. There's another movie I can't remember the name of, but it's about like a home invasion. It's like a deaf woman and her like house is getting broken. She lives alone. She's deaf and her house
Oh
is
my
broken
gosh.
into. Say what?
Oh, wait until dark.
Wait until dark. But yeah, like the
What?
sound design in that too is like she can't.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Wait,
yeah.
no, is it where she has a friend and she's like a writer?
I can't remember. I just remember that like there's a crossbow.
Yeah, no, I love that movie. That movie is so good.
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
I-
But it does that same thing with like
The sound.
with the sound where it's like
Yeah, I know it's brilliant.
we watched that movie, what is it called? Bring Her Back, where the girl is almost blind, like things are out of focus. And it shows things from her perspective, and it's like she can't focus on anything, like her vision's fucked up. And like that adds like a layer of like just helplessness to the situation.
There's another example of that me and Cheyenne watched recently was actually Requiem for a Dream.
Oh yeah.
That was
Because
a good movie.
the sound for that was crazy too, especially like towards the end where like
I love the sounds of when they're taking the drugs, because it was very like in your face and like poppy.
or like when I forgot her name, the grandma was like going crazy.
Uh-huh.
Like the sounds would like literally hit her and she would like get fucked.
Oh well, no, she was hopped up on heavy diet pills, so
Well, yeah,
she was overdosing. So that's why like a lot of things were like muffled because she was literally like
But-
not
but
there.
But the point I'm making is like the sound effects, they would sound different depending on the state of the character that would be like affected
Hmm.
by it.
Well, that's all I had.
All right.
I did have one last thing that I wanted see if anybody had any thoughts on, which is the bird. Anyone remember?
That
The-
was,
the
I think
crane.
that was my favorite part.
Oh, the
crane.
crane. Yeah.
I think that was
Symbolic of what?
Yeah, that's why I wonder what I thought to get everybody's thoughts on it. Symbolic of something or
rebirth. Wink, wink. I feel like naivety, maybe. Hope. What is it? Well, there's a word for it. When you give someone hope, but you like it's fake, false hope. Maybe.
What did you have thoughts about it, or you just?
no, I was curious because
He's just a noticer.
When the bird showed up, I thought that there was gonna be more with the bird, because it
Mm.
followed them around for a while, even back into their home. When they went back to the town where the boy was in,
Wonder if that's a
and then
cultural,
it wasn't around anymore. There was nothing with that.
wonder if that's like a cultural symbol, if we don't have context for it.
Because even the bird got close up on its face.
But,
Go bird.
you bringing up that makes me think of the girl that he meets. Where when we started it, someone said that she was a symbol for death. Do you guys remember this?
Mhm.
Who said that?
Probably shiny. She's obsessed with that.
Do you guys remember that?
It's
She
just-
shows up and it would,
Yeah, it
someone said something about her being like the Grim Reaper or something.
might have been Josh, actually.
Yeah, it might have been him.
But,
I think Josh was also the one that says that he thinks that she was like a nurse in the camp.
She was a nurse in the camp.
But everybody else was saying that they thought she was like a
Like a
prostitute.
horror.
No, but I mean, both can be true.
well, she was German. right?
Well,
No, she was Russian. She was Russian.
everyone else had only mentioned her being possibly the prostitute or a whore before, and then
I think
Josh
she was
said
Not
like-
everyone mentioned that, but the people that mentioned
the other
something
thing
said that.
said that.
I think she was with the general for sure.
She was obsessed with the general.
She was heartbroken when he left.
Yeah, she was obsessed
So
with
I
the.
think there was something there.
She loved the general, but the general treated her the same way he treated the main character.
Yeah.
These are like two very young
She
people.
took his shoes.
These are two very young people. I'm gonna leave them back in the camp and not take them to
Get her
where I'm going.
shoes.
Yeah.
She took his.
Um,
Uh,
The bird, the stork symbolizes the gradual loss of the protagonist's innocence and the destruction of natural purity. So loss of innocence.
Hmm.
So naivety.
She does like a dance. Do you remember? Was it towards the beginning? It must have been.
Yeah, when they're that scene when they're in the forest.
Is that where the crane is too?
No,
That's later.
she's
That's
like,
later.
and then
Yeah.
it pops up like a cartoon thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that's heavily when they're disassociating from their reality.
But yeah, I remember. I just really liked that scene. It like was creepy, where she was like dancing on top of that box, and it just felt very like, I don't know, like the devil, like evil.
On the
Like
box,
not her, but just
the cartoon.
I don't know. It felt dark. It's like
Yeah. Maybe that's because of what came after. I feel like during it, I don't know, it did make me sick. Like seeing it because I had this pit in my stomach that was like, yeah, okay, but what's to come
Hmm.
for them? Like because they're acting like children, right? They're kind of being children. I mean, they're traumatized and they're disassociating, but they're acting like children. And then I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I guess what I mean is like demonic in the way it's like dancing in hell. Like you're in hell, but it's like dancing imps, you know? It's like I guess a coping mechanism. It's like finding joy in little things when things are that bad. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
bleak.
definitely
It's
for
fucking
sure
bleak.
disassociation.
Yeah, the most, so we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and this is like the scene that got me the most, the one that like really fucked with me and like stuck with me after we watched it was, so when they were burning the people in the barn, they gave them a choice. They were like, you can leave, but you have to leave the children behind. And the only one who made that choice was the protagonist, like the main character. But one of the parents hoists her child and like throws him out the window. And the scene that like fucked with me the most was when they pick him back up and yeet him back through the window. And the way they did it was like, no, y'all threw that kid. Like you actually threw that kid. And like seeing that like fucked with me because like you're actually seeing, I don't want to say child abuse. He's probably fine. There are probably people on the other end like waiting to catch him. But like you're seeing a child being like mishandled, like actually seeing it. It's like there's tons of those themes in the movie, like young people being exploited and murdered, but actually seeing it like that fucked with me.
And-
Because the way they threw him, like I hope someone's underneath.
No, I mean,
Because
they
like
definitely are.
yeah,
But like adding on to that scene, it's like it was easy for him to do that because it wasn't his village. You think he could have done the same if like his sisters were in the barn?
that's the thing, man. Is like what adds to that whole thing and makes it easier is they're all on meth. They're all on it like amphetamines.
No, I mean for him.
I feel like
You talking about the main character?
Yeah, the main
He's not
character.
the one who threw the kid through.
No,
the
no, no. I'm talking about the main character escaped because
It's-
he wasn't part of that village.
I think that's not exactly how he escaped.
No, what I'm saying is I think it was easy for him to escape because it wasn't his village.
I don't think that was easy for him.
It wasn't easy, but I don't think he would have done it if his sisters were in the barn.
That's not obvious to me. Because he left them behind in the first place.
Because he didn't know, he was ignorant.
I guess I see what you're saying. I don't know if I agree with you. It's not obvious to me that he wouldn't have left his family behind in the same situation. But I get what you're saying.
I do think one of the interesting things about the movie is that while you see all this and you feel for these people, it's really difficult to get a good idea of who they are as a person.
Oh, true.
And I'd say that's across any of the characters in the movie, where it feels like there's certain things like talk about like with the I forget was he a captain or a general? What was when he grimaced though, when you said they thought that was like sign of passion. I think you see all these emotions in people that shows that it's there, but you're never quite sure if that's what like who that is as a person for why they decided to do that.
yeah.
You know what's funny about what you're saying is it's like you can't really say who any of these people are because it's a desperate situation. That being said,
That's
okay,
not exactly what I'm saying.
okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding you.
I'm saying more as a narrative thing. There's not much character building to establish who that
okay.
character is
I got you.
within the story.
I understand. You don't really, okay, because you don't see that much of them.
Right, like you're not getting a lot of like.
I got you.
It's not like there's all these moments with the main character that shows in this situation he would make this decision and that like really get a feel for like who he is as a person.
I feel like the
Well, it's
ending.
A lot of just like these characters going through trauma, which I think goes into the whole like feels a bit like a dream, where it's like I'm not sure that they're even aware of the decisions they're making at the time. As
Right.
opposed to they're just responding to the only way that they can respond.
Yeah. It's very
Hmm.
void.
Yeah, I misunderstood what you were saying. But what I was thinking was, desperate people act in a certain way. It's like you can't really judge any of these people because you're not in their shoes, right? But then it got me thinking about like the converse of that is like, well, if you're super sheltered all the time, can you really say that that's who you are either? Right? It's like you could say that desperate people do desperate things. You could also say that you don't really know who you are unless you've been put in desperate situations, which are kind of contradictory things to say, I guess.
Wasn't the ending he like shot the Hitler picture, but then there was also
Yeah.
another picture of like baby Hitler?
I don't remember the baby Hitler picture. I remember him repeatedly shooting the picture of Hitler. I remember that.
No, but that was a scene. And I remember
Yeah.
I specifically said I would do it.
Yeah.
There was a
I-
baby Hitler?
Yeah,
And
he did-
and
didn't
he
shoot
remembers
it.
me saying I would do it.
Yeah, but the thing is, the thing is, he didn't shoot it.
Oh,
he
interesting.
didn't shoot it.
I don't remember that part.
But I would.
I think, okay, that's great. That's awesome.
We know you love.
Even if it
babies.
wasn't baby Hitler, just because it was a baby.
Yeah, bro. No, but I think that does showcase a little more about his character,
Hmm. Okay.
but only him, because he is the main character. That's I feel like that is all we get. I agree with what you said, Thoreau, because we really don't get much from these characters except trauma and
Yeah.
like I don't know, just void. I understand what you said.
Anything else? Anybody else?
That's all.
would like to talk about?
Keith, got anything to add?
Have final thoughts? All right. Guess we'll wrap it up there then.
Cool.
Unless there's any last minute announcements or anything else.
Next week, y'all are coming behind the curtain, right?
What is it?
You said you would.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is it?
Behind the curtain, the show with
Evan's show.
the news one where like he does fake news.
Oh
and-
yeah. What day is it again?
Next Tuesday.
Okay, you're gonna have to remind me. I'm sorry, I'm going through a lot of
It's
stuff
okay.
right now.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're good. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, check out David and Cheyenne on the other podcast we do with Evan Carpenter, Behind the Curtain, next Tuesday.
Yes.
And we have a date on Bunny Roo, April 3rd. I don't know if we're talking about lineup yet.
We're real close to having them all.
Okay, we won't say who's on that yet. But
Yeah.
Bunny Roo 3, Bunny Roo the 3rd, actually.
Bunny Roo the third.
We're gonna do Bunny Roo the 3rd. I'm gonna write it out in like Lupin font.
He knows more than me.
Yeah, but we've got a really sick bill. It's gonna be at East Side Bowl in the front room, and
58 room,
the 58 room. 58.
58,
It was the 58 room until we decided we're doing Bunny Roo there, and now it's the 58 room.
that's the 58 room.
Yeah, we're skipping
Fit-
over.
It's FITTYATE. 58.
Yeah, we're skipping right over 6-7.
Oh my god.
7.
Please. Oh my god.
6,
Shoot,
7.
you dead.
And yeah, I think we're good. Next month on Movie Club, we're doing fucking what's it called?
My son, what have ye done?
I guess we're gonna find out what his son did next time, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye, Alex.